Hi, Cliff Brake from Beck Systems. I'd like to give a demo of the simple case of using the simple IoT rules engine. So I'm just going to try to go over the simplest case. So we fired up a fresh install or setup of simple IoT. So the first thing we're going to do is add a variable node, two variables. So let's add one variable and let's add another one. Okay, and we're going to call the first one var in. We're going to make this an on-off, and then the second one we're going to call var out. Okay, so those are our two variables. Next we're going to set up a rule. And what this rule is going to do is it's going to watch var in, and it's going to set var out based on the state of var in. So it's going to connect var in to var out. Now in real life you would typically have like a sensor, and then the rule would be looking at a sensor value and then setting maybe a relay or something like that. But in this case we're just going to do more of a simulation. So we need to add a rule. So let's add a rule node. And then inside the rule node we need to add conditions and actions. Let's add one condition, an active action, and an inactive action. So another thing to understand with simple IoT is a rule can only do one thing, or a rule action can only do one thing. It can only set something, or it can only clear it. It can only set one value. So if you want to do something when the rule goes active and inactive, you need two actions, an inactive action and an active action. So that's what these two are here. Okay, so let's call this rule watch v in and set v out. Okay, so the condition will be is v in set. And to do this, we need to copy the node ID of vin. So we're going to click on the copy button here. Now this node ID is cached in the copy buffer. It's also displayed up here, and it's also in the clipboard. So in the condition, we're going to look at a point value. We're going to paste in the current copy buffer, which is so that way we don't have to mess with that. We're going to look at a value and on off, and we want the condition to trigger if the point value is on. So that's our condition. Now our action is going to set the var out node, so we want to copy the ID for that node, and we're going to set v out, set node value, paste the ID for var out. It's an on off, and we want to set it to on when the rule is active. Okay, so then the last thing we need to do is do the inactive action. And notice these are being highlighted as red. That means there's an error. And if you open up the rules, you can see the error is displayed. So that kind of tells you something is not configured quite right. So this one is going to be clear v out, set node value, point type is value, node ID, so on off, boom. Okay, so notice the errors are now cleared, and the active portions of the rule are now highlighted in blue, so you can see that the inactive action is currently what's firing. But if we set the in variable, we can set it, and notice now the rule is active because this condition is set, and the action that sets v out is set. So if we look out, we see v out is now on. If we turn v in off, we'll notice that var out switches to off. And again, so basically var out is just tracking var in, and this is all done by this rule. So again, to summarize, with a rule we need conditions and actions. A rule can only do one thing, or a rule action can only do one thing, so if we want it to both set and clear the variable, we need active action and inactive actions. You can have as many conditions as you want. All the conditions need to be met before the rule fires, and when the rule fires, all of the actions are fired. So we could add additional actions here. We could have many actions or just a few like you see here. Anyway, this is how simple IoT rules work. Hope this helps. Thanks.